Gentlelady from Hartford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My good friend from St. Mary's discussion with the good doctor really brought something to my mind. In the state of Maryland, when you go and get an abortion, no one is getting permission from your spouse, your partner, your male spouse or partner. That's not happening. In addition, when you go, you are a woman. Who's having abortions? This sounds like it's an abortion bill. That conversation made me think, oh, this bill is now about abortion. This amendment is about abortion. Women are having abortions. Women. And they're not getting permission from a man. That's not the law in the state of Maryland. They're not showing up at the doctors. The doctor's not saying, okay, well, we need to have the dad's permission to do this procedure. That is not the state we're living in. So, like my good friend from Baltimore County said, this is a virtue signal at best. At worst, it's actually an abortion bill, and that is even more disturbing.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Vice Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, the original Constitution does not mention any gender whatsoever. It only says persons. Now, I'd like to believe that our founding fathers were acting egalitarian, but you'll forgive my skepticism, if you will, given the culture at the time. Under the mantle of states' rights, states have individually allowed for discrimination based on sex. That's just, over the years, in the 270 years we've been around, that's just been a fact. I praise God every day that I live in Maryland, because I live in a state that understands that every person is valued. Every person, every human is valued. Throughout our laws, and this has happened in my tenure here and before here, we recognize that in the last 20 to 25 years, that there is a spectrum of gender. It is no longer simply male, female. There is a spectrum, and we are recognizing that in our laws here in Maryland. We prohibit in our laws discrimination against sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity for housing, employment, public accommodations. But 93% of the people who live in southern states do not have those same rights. They don't. In fact, in 19 states, there are bans against medically necessary health care. In 14 additional states, they're considering those bans now. So to my good friend from St. Mary's County, what does this bill do? This bill says that Maryland believes that the foundation of democracy is that every person is valued. Every voice must be heard. And I ask you to vote for this resolution to make that statement. I will address the time frame. I must admit I did a little research on this. Article 5 of the Constitution is where you find out how you amend it. There is absolutely no reference to time limits in Article 5 of the Constitution. The 7-year time limit was totally arbitrary. And I would submit to you, discriminatory. So I do not value that time limit, and I believe that it is now time that enough states have ratified this amendment that we need to put it in our Constitution to do what the founders said they wanted to do and give equal rights under the law to every person. Thank you, Madam Speaker.